Hi guys, welcome back to Mindmilk D20. It's time for a really quick review and a talk over my first impressions of an officially licensed product. The D&D Bestiary, a set of 8 mini notebooks. Now, I wanted to let you know my thoughts on it because it's quite an expensive little set of notebooks. So you might have seen it and been wondering, is it really worth it? Well, first impressions is that it looks really good. I really like this little library that it's kept in. That looks pretty good on a shelf. So this library comes with 8 notebooks and each one features a different beast from the monster manual. There's a Tarrasque, a red dragon, liches and a lithid, an owlbear, all these kind of classic monsters. And as you can see when you look at them together, this kind of nice little rainbow of books. Each one has a different colour tone palette, which is really nice, but it does mean that the artwork has been rendered in a more graphical style, which depends what you like. If you like the artwork in the Monster Manual and the PHB, this is going to look simplified, and I feel that the tonal treatment of these is you lose some detail in the artwork, but as a set it looks good. But when you open up the book, inside you'll find there's a little bit of information and lore about the creature on the cover, which is pretty neat. The issue is you're not going to see these as a set very often. If you're using this to take notes in your game, you're only going to have one with you. I'm currently using the owlbear notebook as the first one I'm having a try with, and it's a good size, but the artwork isn't strong enough on its own. The strength really is in the set of them all together, so having this at the table isn't as pleasing as I'd hoped. One of the ways in which the books vary is what the paper looks like inside. So this is a blank one. There are 2 blank notebooks. There are 2 that are lined, 2 that are dotted, and 2 that are gridded, which is really useful depending on what you want a notebook for and what your preferences are. But you will get to the point where you eventually have to use that lined notebook at the end when you've used up all the others. The size of these is pretty good. I find when I'm taking notes in a D&D game, this is about what I'd get through in a campaign, because I take pretty small notes and sketches and I'd maybe do a session a page. It's hard to know quite what to say about these. It's one of those ones that when you see it and you see one opened up, you're going to get the idea of what it is. I'm going to talk a little bit about the paper quality. It's not that great. It doesn't feel that much different from printer paper. It's a slightly heavier weight, but the paper surface isn't particularly pleasing. I would really want something more premium from something I'm paying this much for. Another issue with these little books is that they are perfect bound, which means there's quite a heavy spine which is glued together, and for a book of this size that feels frustrating. You can't open it flat, and really it would be much preferable for these to be saddle stitched with a staple or with thread, and that would have made a much more satisfying book to use. Ultimately, this set of notebooks makes for a pretty neat gift, and as you're getting 8 of them, I guess there is some value in it. However, I would prefer more choice, better quality notebook, and I'd rather have 8 all of the same type that I like. So I like blank paper, and gridded paper I find useful as well. I'd rather have bought 8 blank notebooks or 8 gridded notebooks than just to have 4 of the ones I like and then another 4 that I'm not unlikely to use. So I feel like that was a bit of an oversight as well. Ultimately, the best thing for this set of books is for people who like to have D&D books sitting on their shelves, because in use there are better things out there.